We have our next question which says a SAS report procedure results in the log below. So looks like a proc report step is being run and the associated log is being displayed here. So it says what should you add to the proc report to address the blue note in this log? So there is a line in the log. It says note at least one w.d format was too small for the number to be printed. The decimal may be shifted by the best format. So by default, when we are running the proc report for numeric variables, if we do not specify any particular format, it uses a format called best12 dot to print the numbers. But if any of those numeric variables have number of digits which has more than the number of characters that can be fit in the 12 width which we have specified as part of the default best12 dot, we get this note which says at least one w.d format was too small for the number to be printed. So in order for this issue to be resolved, we need to explicitly specify the format to be used for that numeric variables. So we are looking for an option which can be used to specify the formats for these numeric variables. So let us go through the options one by one and see if we have one related to formats. The first option says use define statements with width is equal to option set large enough to print all the values of each variable. So again, so if we width option is used to specify the number of characters that can be printed in a particular column in the output destination. So again, depending on the output destination, so if the width is not large enough, the number of characters displayed in that column may get truncated. So again, for example, the number of characters may not get truncated if we are outputting it to a destination like HTML. But if we are outputting it to a destination like ODS listing, so the values get truncated. And for that, we need to increase the width using the width option. But here, the question is not about the width of the column. It is about the format of the format default best12 dot format is not sufficient enough to accommodate the entire number of characters present in the numeric variables. So this option is not correct because it is using the width is equal to option, but it has not got nothing to do with the format for those numeric variables. So again, the second option says specify call width is equal to option with a value large enough to print all the values in the data. Again, call width is equal to option is used to control the physical column width in the output destination for destinations like ODS RTF or ODS HTML. Again, the values are not getting truncated because of the width specified. It is because of the number of characters in the numeric variable is not accommodated within the best12 dot. So this is also not a correct option. So again, the third option says use define statements where flow is specified for each numeric variable. Again, so for destinations like ODS listing, if the width is not sufficient to print the number of characters available in a variable, the values get truncated in that column. In order to prevent that truncation, we use the flow option so that the remaining characters go and get printed on the next line. So for ODS listing, if we have not used the flow option, if we have given a width which is not sufficient to print the entire number of characters, the text would be truncated. So to prevent that, we would use flow option. But here the question is not about the width, physical width available in the output destination, but it is about the number of characters cannot be fitting with the best12 format. So let us go to the last option. It says use a format statement with formats large enough to print all values for each numeric variable. Yeah, this is the option which gives us the correct results. So we may have to use a format which exceeds the total width of the default best12 dot. So it can be based on the values, and some formats can be something like 15.2 or so based on the requirement. So let us check if this is the right answer or not. Yep, the screen turned green, which means our response is correct. So it says our response was to use a format statement, and the correct response is also use a format statement with formats large enough to print all the values for each numeric variable.